in the cold is how to manage cold. And I think what's going to be quite important is just layers, putting on a nice base layer or a thermal top or a lamb's wool or whatever top you've got, whatever you like, a very light rain jacket if you prefer, something but not too flappy. That's going to drive you crazy flapping in the wind. So you all know, you've obviously been training in winter, you know how to handle cold. Just bring layers. And on the morning, if you decide to wear a gilet or a top, whatever you don't decide to wear, you can leave in your 2xU swim bag that'll be left next to your bike. That's for the people doing the ultra. Sprint, same story. You leave behind whatever you don't want to wear in your Prescient waterproof bag. So yeah, I think we've got everybody on board. So let's kick off. Firstly, I wanted to say thank you very much for your patience. We've had such a lot of you who've stuck around through the delay from the postponement. It was the right decision. We had 100% agreement that it was the right thing to do. It was howling that weekend. I guess coastal weather is always a bit temperamental. We didn't expect wind in May, and we certainly didn't expect it in June. And we haven't got wind. We might have a bit of drizzle. And so it is winter. It's going to be cold. And so you want to dress up for the occasion. Suggest things like, you know, we haven't got a water temperature. I will share a water temperature once our local swimmers give us temperatures closer to the time. I'll share it on the WhatsApp group. But you can do obvious things like wearing a hoodie. Swim hoodies are lovely. They take a little bit of getting used to, but they are neoprene. They cover your head. They cover your ears. They give you a real sense of comfort and safety and warmth. But you do want to be used to it. You try, give it a try first, but you wear your swimming cap over it. Otherwise, some people prefer wearing 2 caps, 2 good quality latex swim caps. That's up to you. You can put the first cap on, then your goggles on top of that, and then the second cap on top of that, so that your goggle straps are safe. But yeah, you want to stay warm. We've got the coffee shop right across the road from Transition. It's going to be open from 5:30 already, so you've got somewhere warm. You will be coming there to fetch your swim bags. You'll be coming there to fetch your timing chips. Sorry, let me let these people in. So you will have a place to be warm and cozy, to sit with your family and friends before the race. Once you've checked your bike, everything is Transition, and that your shoes are on your pedals. Your helmet should be in your bag. So you want to make sure that you've got everything set up in Transition, you know where your stuff is. Then you can stay warm in the coffee shop before, after that, and then we'll head down for a last briefing at 7:45, and you'll have a last swim. I very much suggest a swim warm-up, and then you don't want to start going from warm temperature straight into cold. So we want to manage your body's acclimatization. You want to have a bit of water inside your suit. You want to have had a warm-up. You want to have elasticized your heart and be your blood flowing before you kick off on your big day out. So we'll start by firstly welcoming you on behalf of Prescient, in particular, our partners, and CISA, our presenting partners, who've been amazing, super loyal. They've given us a huge amount of value. You'll see their drink stations. You'll see their gifts. You'll see their support throughout the day. They've been amazing partners. We absolutely love working with them. So thank you, Prescient and CISA, for bringing together this race that, as you can see, that's a picture taken from our recce. There we are riding along that beautiful coastline. You're going to be onto that road within the first 20 minutes of the bike course, and you'll pinch yourself and wonder where you've been your whole life, because it is just the most beautiful place to ride a bike. Those of you doing the sprint, same story. When you swim in the harbor, looking out over the Walker Bay with the cliffs behind you, it's magnificent. It's a beautiful place to spend time. It's a jewel of South African tourism, and there's a good reason why. So the race is on Saturday. Go to the next slide. There we go. Registration. For anyone who hasn't registered yet, or anyone who's transferring to someone else's entry, if you were a substitution, you need to be at Gordons Bay on Friday. It says there 4 o'clock to 6:30, but we have got on the newsletter that it's open from 3, so we will be open from 3, and we will stay there till 7. So don't come after 7, but we will be there. There's Hugo Jabir. It's in the yacht club. The yacht club is in Gordons Bay, literally maybe half a K from the beach. you keep driving along the bike course itself. So you basically go to the far left-hand side of Gordons Bay. There's parking in there in the yacht club. Very easy, walk around the building, same place as last year for anyone who registered last year. But anyone who's not sure, that there are signs to the yacht club, and it's on the beachfront, obviously, because it's a yacht club, it's on water. You just follow the coastal road from the beach, a couple hundred meters up the little hill, over a couple of speed bumps, and you pull into the yacht club. So we'll be there. You will obviously receive a few things. You'll get your timing, your race number. You'll get your bike number, which is the number that goes around your seat post. You'll get your Prescient waterproof bag, which is one of your transition bags. And you'll get your race number itself, which you'll attach to a race belt. So the chip collections are in the morning at the Ultra, and Aqua Bike is at the Bean and Barrel. That's the little coffee shop I was referring to, right opposite Transition. The Spur is next to Transition, but they won't be open. The coffee shop called the Bean and Barrel, lovely people, lovely coffee shop, lots of space. That's where you'll get your 2x U bag, your timing chip, which you need to have your own strap for, and hot coffee and breakfast and whatever you want. And it'll be open right through from 5:30 in the morning right until after the race. So very lovely place, spend some time there. The Sprint, you fetch your timing chip collection at the Sprint venue, which is in Transition 1 at the New Harbour in Hermanus. The New Harbour is on the Cape Town side of Hermanus. It's about 2.2 k's down south towards Cape Town along the beachfront from the Old Harbour, which is the old town, which is where all the restaurants are, etc. Okay. I'll run through the timing sheet in a moment in terms of the day. This is what you get in your race pack. Let's show in. Right, there's your race number on the left. You wear that on the bike and the run. Okay, you ideally should have a race belt. You put it on your race belt. You then turn it to your back, so it's on your bum, so refs and all the officials can see it from behind. Then when you're onto the run, you turn it around so that it's on the front, so that refs and officials can see you from the front. Your bike number is the long number that you wrap around your seat post. If you happen to have a very wide seat post like time trial bikes often have, you can put it on your chain stay. Down the side, the pole that connects your saddle to your rear chain, rear cassette, rear axle, you can put it around there too. Just try not to put it next to the spokes. Put it high up because you don't want it flapping in your spokes. It'll drive you crazy. Then you get your Prescient waterproof bag, and many of you have received those already. You put your race number on that. That becomes your transition bag, your transition 1 bag for the Sprint, your transition 2 bag for the Ultra. And that the Ultra bag is the one you hand in at race brief at registration on Friday at Gordons Bay. Unless you gave it to me today, or you're going to hand it in at 2 of the other points, which we'll talk about in a moment. So there's a square sticker goes on your Prescient bag, the long sticker goes on your seat post, and your race number goes around your waist for the bike and the run. Right, that's what we call the Prescient bag. That's your gift bag. It's a multi-use waterproof bag, which is very handy in life. When you go paddling or something like that, you can take it. It keeps everything 100% dry. Really cool for any outdoor missions. Okay, you're each going to get one of those. Thank you to Prescient. I've told you stick your square sticker on it. You hand it in at registration with your running gear in it. That's for the ultra athletes. You can put snacks in it. You can put a little towel in it. You can put your sun visor, a spare pair of glasses, gels, most importantly, your running shoes. If you haven't already got socks on, which some people are wearing on the bike because obviously it's a bit colder, you'll have your socks in there as well. Or you can have a second pair of socks if you decide you want fresh socks for the bike. For the run. So your running shoes go in there. We are suggesting road shoes. It's 95% road. The little bit of trail is very short. It's a road shoe route. Sprint athletes, this is the bag you bring with you to T1 after you've put your running stuff in T2. And T2, like T2 for the Ultra, is at the Old Harbour in town. The classic old Hermanus that you'll remember, where the well crier is, the Old Harbour, where transition will be on the right at Gearing's Point, where the finish line will be on the left at the amphitheatre on the grass. Okay? That bag sprint athletes, you'll bring it down to the new harbor where you're going to swim. And that's where your wetsuit will go in and your swim stuff after you've swum. And we will bring it back to transition 2 for you. Okay. So no other bags or boxes in transition 1, because that's down at the harbor. Your box will be in transition 2, which is at near the finish at Gearing's Point. So ultra and sprint athletes, you got it the opposite way around. For sprint athletes, that's your transition 1 bag. For ultra athletes, that's your transition 2 bag. I hope everyone's clear. I don't see anybody putting up their hand or anything. So that's been explained in our race email. It's been explained a lot. It's our standard, but Max is saying thumbs up. Thank you. Okay. That is your Race2Hermanus 2xU swim bag. So those of you who are swimmers will know, who've had these for life. That's a great bag as a swim bag. It's mesh, so the water runs out. It keeps your stuff dry after swimming. But that can become your swim bag for life now, because it's very useful. It's a lovely size. It fits a wetsuit in. It fits during the year, you'll have your pool boy in there and your paddles and your goggles and whatever else you like in there. That's a swim bag. That will be your swim bag, will be what will be in transition while you're swimming. That's for the ultra athletes. It goes next to your bike. Your helmet will go in there. Please don't put your helmet on your handlebars, because if there is some wind or somebody bumps your bike and your 2 or 3 or 5 grand time trial helmet topples off your bike and lands on the ground and cracks, A, you won't be able to race with a cracked helmet, but B, you'll be upset to have a cracked helmet. So put it in that bag next to your bike, because it'll also stop your bag from blowing away or flying away. So put anything. If you're not the kind of person who starts with running with bike shoes on the bike, clipped in already, put your shoes in there too. You can put a towel in there. You can put whatever you like in there. You can put a little top in there, because when you come out of the bike and you put on your bike stuff, you would have taken it out of this bag. So I'm suggesting that if you are a person who's very prone to cold, I'm looking at you, Liesl, you will dry yourself off. You will do whatever you, I mean, obviously you want to get out of there as quick as possible. It's a race. But if you can, put on something long sleeve. Some people are using arm warmers. Some people struggle to put on arm warmers because they're tight. You'll be a bit shaky from swimming already, because you'll have been working out. You'll have done 2Ks of swimming. It's not that easy to get dressed when you're getting out of a long swim and you're cold or whatever, or you're tired. Just think of things that you're going to put on that are easy to put on, because you're getting dressed by yourself. You're not going to have mom to pull your top down behind you. You might have a fellow athlete who might reach over and help you, but you basically want to get dressed on your own steam. So something stretchy, something with a zip, something that goes on easily enough that you know you can get dressed in and not get too frustrated, because you want to save time. But you do want to get dressed in a nice way to manage the elements, because you're going to be on the bike for 2 to 4 hours. And there will be a bit of drizzle, it looks like, on the day. There's no wind, but as you know, when you're riding at 30, 40 Ks or 25 Ks an hour, you create your own wind as it is. So dress warmly, put layers on, look after yourselves. It's not a very tough bike. It's 608 meters of climbing. So you're not going to find yourself getting boiling hot, etc. You're going to be cool. So dress accordingly. Okay, so your bike stuff will be in that bag next to your bike. When you come out of the swim, you'll take your bike stuff out, you'll put it on your body, you'll put your wetsuit in there, your swimming cap, your goggles. That'll be your Prescient swim cap, by the way. We're giving you all swimming caps. That goes in there. You pull the straps close, you leave it where it was, and we will take your wetsuit out. We'll rinse it in fresh water. We'll dry it a bit, and then we'll pack it into the bags, and we'll bring all of them to transition 2. So what you leave behind, if you leave a top in there, whatever, because you decided not to wear it, that's all cool. Everything in that bag, just leave it safely underneath the rack. So don't leave it in the alleyway where people are coming past with their bikes. Leave it right underneath the bike rack safely. It's going to have your race number on it. You can see the race number on the tag. It'll be a white number. But that you will get, when you get given your race bag on Saturday morning, you'll be given the your bag number 2. You put it around the strap. Don't strap your 2 straps together, because it'll make your bag hard to handle and hard to open and shut. Just stick it around one side, and that'll have your bike stuff in while you're swimming. It'll keep your bag weighted in place, and it'll keep your stuff in one place. So that is your transition 1 bag for the ultra and the aquabike athletes. Right. I hope that made sense. Shuttles, you all know about the shuttles. They're not cheap. Obviously, this is a service done for charity purposes. Those who want to support charity, this is a great way to do it. They're great people. They're very sweet. You know the number. You've got all the information. Otherwise, you need to have a friend drive your car through, or get a lift back with a friend, or get a lift to the start with a friend. Your call. The details are there. Timing chips. Okay, very important that you know your timing chip is on your left-hand side. You don't want to wear it on the drivetrain side. So you want it, but you need to have your own chip strap. The other chip straps were branded with events, and Finish Time, who are our timekeepers, as always, are not providing straps because they don't get them back. So you need your own strap. You can buy it at registration, like you would have bought it in Cape Town registration. You can buy it at a try shop. You can probably have your own, whatever you like, but you want to get a nice solid Velcro strap that's not going to come loose, because you lose your time chip. A, you have to buy a new one, and B, you won't get a time. So I would suggest you put it on nice and firmly. Don't make it too tight so that it scratches your ankle and has issues. That's why those nice Velcro ones, I mean, the neoprene ones are nice, but make sure it's nice and firm. If you're not sure it's firm, use a safety pin or tape, electrical tape, but make sure it's firmly around your ankle and facing outwards so that you are picked up on the timing mat. Okay, you've got that. Your timing chip and your race bag will be collected by ultras. For you sprint guys, your timing chip again at transition 1 in the New Harbour. Okay, as I said there, all athletes hand their chips at the finish, please. At Blue Lagoon, we had a big sign up saying timing chip hand back. It was huge, and still a lot of people said they didn't see it and they didn't see us. There's always someone there who'll take your chip from you. The flag's there. When you cross the line, as grumpy as you are, or as tired as whatever, just give that person 5 seconds to help you take your chip off and give your chip back, please. Otherwise, you're going to pay a lot for it. Okay? You keep your race number, because that race number that's around your waist is what you're going to show when you go to bike checkout at transition 2. And if your number on your seat post matches your race number, you'll get your bike out and your race bags. Otherwise, you won't. So keep your race number with you, but please hand your chip back. Okay, here's the schedule for the day. Ultra and Aqua Bike, Gordons Bay. Transition opens at 6:30, closes at 7:30. Okay, we'll start heading down to the beach from just after 7:30. You can have a swim warm-up. I love a swim warm-up. Don't not have a swim warm-up. I couldn't believe how many people in Durban now at Ironman didn't warm up. They start with dry wetsuits that aren't tucked in nicely into place. They aren't flexible. They've got half the wetsuit sitting in their bum and in their legs. You need to rinse water through your wetsuit, pull it up, pull it into place, get all the wetsuit into your shoulders, get it nice and flexible so that you haven't got something impeding your shoulders. You need all the flexibility. Wetsuits are very flexible once they're wet. So go into the water. It might sound crazy, but just get used to it. Flush the water through your suit. That water inside your suit will warm up to your body temperature and give you an extra layer of insulation. You want to make sure your wetsuit's nicely fitted and not hanging around, baggy around your legs and around your bum. Go and do a few 100-meter or 50-meter pulls. Make sure you're feeling the water in your hands. Feel the water. Get your breathing deep in your tummy. Relax. Then when you get out the water and you just relax for a few minutes before the race starts, your heart will calm down. You'll have an elasticized heart. You'll be used to the water. So when you go in the second time, which is for real, you're going to be in the water for 25 minutes up to an hour, you'll be comfortable. So that's very important with getting comfortable and familiar with the water. Okay, condition yourselves. Don't go in there straight out of the coffee shop, warm as toast, hit the cold water and react, because that's going to give you a high heart rate, an elevated heart rate, and stress. You don't want that. You want to start the day nice and smoothly and keep your heart rate consistent the whole day. Okay, so the final briefing is 1:45. We start the race at 8. We will have a male and female waves, okay, after each other. And just looking at the conditions, it is high tide, so it should be fine. But we might decide to split it up into under 40s and over 40s, depending how many people don't show and how the water conditions look. So you might well be, first males will go 0 to 40, then 40 plus, or should I say 0 to 39, and then 40 plus, and then same thing with the ladies. We might split you. We'll decide in the morning, but it will be waves. The males and females will start behind each other. Okay, sprint and Hermanus, same thing. Your transition opens from 7:30 until 8:30. your final briefing is at 8:45 and your start is at 9. Okay, so the transition, obviously you've got 2 transitions. You need to put your running stuff into transition 1 for you, which is at Gearing's Point, which is, transition 2. It's transition 2, but it's the first place you're going to go to on that morning. You're going to go and put your running shoes into the rack that's allocated to you. So the bike racks have got numbers on the end of them, which say number 150 to 200 as an example. You go to that rack, you find a place roughly a meter wide, you go and put your box in there with your shoes in it and whatever else you want after the run. That stays, and that's going to be when you come in with your bike from the bike, having been in swum in the New Harbour, you'll come in there and you'll find your bike box with your shoes in it and you'll put your bike right there. That's your spot. That's where you're going to rack your bike. Then you're going to put your bike stuff into the box. You're going to take your running stuff out, put it on, and off you go on your run. Okay. So the final briefing there will be at 8:45, and you've got space also for a warm-up. Just a warning to the sprint athletes, the slipway is always slippery. So you need to walk in on the swim mats that are there, or you need to walk in down the sides holding onto the tires, but just be very careful. Walk in slowly, walk in carefully, and walk out carefully, the same story. Stay on the swim mats. Don't slip. A few years ago, when athletes slip and split his jaw open before the race. So just be careful getting in and out. We will let you swim to warm up. We will let you swim out to the start line, which is 2 buoys. I'll show you on the map just now. We'll give you a few minutes to start, but we won't leave you in the water for long. So once we say into the water, into place to start the race, you need to swim out to the start fast. Don't leave some athletes sitting there, because if you're still on the slipway because you want to leave it for the last minute, your swim's going to take you an extra minute and a half because you're still not going to be at the start for the first bit. Okay, so the sprint start is in the New Harbour in Hermanus. Transition will open for the sprint athletes at 12:30 for bike checkout. For the ultra guys, 2:30. Prize giving is at 4, and the after party is at 7 o'clock at the Hermanus Brewery, which is about, you'll see it on the bike course, but it's about 2 minutes, or what we call it max, sort of 5 minutes drive down towards Onrus, back towards Cape Town. It's right at the entrance of the Hermanus Valley. Lovely place, really worth coming to hang out. We'll be there. It's going to be a fun night, so come and have a chill. Right, so here is Gordon's Bay. That's the parking area, the big blue area. So when you drive in from the N2, you'll end up coming down this road here and into the parking. There's parking all the way along there. This is the spur, and this is our transition. Okay, the coffee shop we're talking about is here, just across the road. So the swim start is here on the far left of the beach. Don't come this side. This is the shallow side. This is where people swim, etc. This is the day visitor, whatever. Our whole swim, I'll show you on the swim map just now, is down here. This is where you get into the water. It's a deeper channel. There's transition. When you run out the water, you're going to run up here. Along here, we've got a water trough to clean your feet from the beach sand, and into transition, out of transition, and down onto the bike. Okay. So this is a general orientation. This is called Beach Road, which is the road you're going to arrive to cross into the parking area. You're then going to walk across here in front of the spur with your bike. To bike check-in, you're going to get your timing chips and stuff in this coffee shop here. But you're going to bike same way as I said just now, according to your race number on the racks. And you're going to put your 2xU swim bag next to your bike with your bike stuff in it. You're going to head down to the beach here. You're going to have a warm-up. You're going to get out the water at about 10:02, 5:02. We'll be calling you out. You're onto the start area here, and we're going to talk to you then before we start the race. I'll show you a map in a moment. No hands up. Good. No questions so far. All right. Ultra and aqua bike. Again, there's the spur. Here's the transition. This is where I'll be shouting and screaming all morning. The medics will be over here. Your chip table. But the chip table is on here, but we'll be giving out chips in the coffee shop, which is, as mentioned, with your 2xU swim bag. Okay. Here's the swim far left of the beach. You come out of the swim exit. Along the beach, along the frontier, you'll footpath to clean your feet will be along here, into this corner, go along down here, find your rack, run across, grab your bike, put your swim stuff into your bag, into your swim bag, get dressed, come out, make sure your helmet's on before you lift your bike off the rack. The refs will penalize you and disqualify you if you touch your bike with the helmet off your head. You have to have your helmet on your head, clipped on before you lift your bike. Same story on the other side. Your bike has to be racked before you can unclip your helmet. Okay, don't make a silly mistake and take your helmet off first. Then out, still on foot. You don't get on your bike until you get to the mount line. You cross the mount line, and then you head off down Beach Road onto the bike course. Okay. So this is the fencing area. Those are the bike racks. Swim in, bike out. Chip collection in the coffee shop, which you'll see. It'll be where we all are. Right. Here's the swim course for the ultras. Right. Ignore that date. That's our old date. So thanks to 2xU for partnering with us on the swim. The swim is 2 laps of 1 kilometer. Okay. We're starting there. Depending on the conditions, we'll either give you a dry start, like for pictures, or we might give you a wet start if it's looking a little shallow. It should be deep, so we should be a dry start. You'll come out here, you'll come through the past right shoulder this boy, right shoulder this boy, right shoulder this boy, right shoulder this boy, and same again. Second time, instead of coming across and out, you'll come straight out to the finish. Okay, so 2 laps of 1 kilometer. And then I showed you off to transition over here. Pretty straightforward. If you have we're going to have life craft on the water. If you're in trouble, I don't think you can see me now, but the signal is arm up in the air, waving side to side. I need support. If you touch a SUP or a paddle boat or a life craft, that's okay. You can say, I'm in trouble, I'm okay, I'm not okay, I need this, I need that. But you can't move with the craft. So as long as you can have 20 seconds, 30 seconds to say what you want to communicate, and then you carry on swimming. If you need to hold on longer, the life craft can't wait for you. They're going to have to tell you to come out the water, and you'll have to get picked up by the rubber duck or swim in on your own. Still admitting people. Fergs, still got some of the race briefing to go. Okay, so onto the bike course. We know we're doing the PTO format, which is 100 Ks, but our bike course measures a bit more than 80 Ks. It's basically all along the coast. If you get lost on this bike course, there's something wrong with you. But as long as the ocean's on your right and you're staying on the main coastal road, you should be absolutely fine. Okay, you'll come out of the transition up the hill. We've got lane closure on one side of the road. Okay, so we've got one side of the road closed, so no traffic will be there. It's cost us a lot of money to get the traffic to do this and make sure we support it and safe. So you'll be safely on the left-hand side all the way up, all the way through, and just after Roy Else, the road opens up. You then have a climb, just for the sake of those, ignore this very sharp tooth-looking profile. It's only 125 meters high. So it's not a steep course. It's a total climbing is about 680 meters. Some people measure around 700, 650, 700. So it's not tough at all by any course standards. For instance, East London was 1,500, race to Stanford used to be 1,600. This is pretty gentle, but I'll explain it. So you come out of transition. This first climb up, what they call Chapman's, I think it's because it looks a bit like our Chapman's, is beautiful, smooth, new tar. It's a beautiful climb right on the edge of the water. If you look to your right, you still see some swimmers perhaps swimming on the swim course. You got a beautiful view over Cape Town, right over False Bay. You cruise up the hill, not steep at all. Actually, a really nice way to warm up into the ride. Then a short downhill over the bridge. That's where they go kloofing. Beautiful part of the world. Then you've got a climb up here, which is, a climb up here, which is not bad. I always think I feel like a bit of a champion, but it's just not very steep. And it's a lovely climb, nice and warm. Then you come down the other side and you are onto the flat section along the beach, the picture you saw earlier. That's Cool Bay. You follow the beach all the way around. When you get to Roy Else, you've got having had a really nice descent over here, You've got a climb of about 1 kilometer. It is steep. You want to get into granny gear, breathe easy, sit up, and enjoy the view to your left over the valley. Look left, far left over the beach, and you're in a very beautiful part of the world. You're looking straight over the mountains. It's the only real climb on this course. So that climb you really want to do easy. You don't want to push your heart rate up for 10 minutes of climbing. You want to climb to the top nice and easy. Lisa will be there, and then you head down the other side. You've got a 12K descent. Very gradual, wide, beautiful. It's a bit of a bumpy road. It's not as good tar as the early parts of the surface, but it's fine. It's wide. It's very lovely view over the valley here, and you cruise all the way down here towards Betty's Bay. Then it flattens out. The course is pretty much flat from the end of the descent from Royals. Then you cruise all the way along Betty's Bay, Pringle Bay for Betty's Bay, all the way along to Kleinmont. Kleinmont is where the old Total Sports Challenge used to finish. You then have a gentle incline. Now, depending if the wind's coming from here, you'll have a headwind. If the wind's coming from here, you'll have a tailwind. But then you'll turn onto the road that you all know that comes from Solari's Pass, and that road takes you right, and the police will be there to escort you and direct you across the road. They'll manage traffic. You then take the road, the big wide road, all the way down towards Vermont, Houston, and into past Sunby, past Onorous, and into town. So this is all pretty flat. There's the big Arabella Lagoon. There's the Arabella Sheraton and Golf Course, which you'll know well. Come past Benguela Estate, and then along here into town. The most important thing I want you ultra people to know is all those robots are pretty busy. So those big intersection robots along there, you need to please, the traffic lights, you need to take care. We do have police. We've paid police officers to be there and to man them, but there are busy intersections. So yes, most of this route, you can put your head down and fly and enjoy just open cruising. Here, I need you to be alert. Don't just think, oh, well, I've got 10 Ks, let me just go flat out. You are crossing busy intersections. We've got traffic support. We've got marshals. We've paid 120 marshals on Saturday to look after you at all the intersections, all from development academies, etc. along the way, NGOs. A huge part of what we do is giving back to the community. And I want to thank CISA, and to make sure that we all know CISA has allowed that. CISA has helped us fund marshals along the route from NGOs who are charitable organizations who look after people in need, which is a wonderful initiative. We've got them all along the road, but here things can get sketchy. Keep your eyes open. This time a year ago, Vicky van der Merwe, one of our top athletes at the moment trying to get to the Olympics, she was riding along and a gentleman had a stroke. An elderly gent in his 80s had a stroke in his car, and his car drifted off the road and knocked Vicky off her bike. Now, that is as random as you could ever have. The chances of him having a stroke right next to her on race day in a small town is just bizarre. But that's why she was alert. She saw it and therefore avoided what could have been worse. You need to be alert, please, please. Okay, so enough about that. You then come into Hermanus. I'll show you a map just now of where you turn down towards the beachfront. No questions? No. Hydration stations. There's a Coke station in Royals. There's an aid station partnered by NAMID. You would have seen our podcast, hopefully, or our digitorial, which was a whole thing which I reckon you should watch. The lady who presents it, Monique Pitteret, really knows her stuff. Her advice on what to drink, how much to eat, and when is invaluable. It's really, really good. I think one of the things I know a lot about is hydration and nutrition, having been an editor of a triathlon magazine for 30 years. She knows her stuff. Watch that thing. It's on our website. Monique Pitteret is a nutritionist who knows her stuff. So there's aid station there with NAMID products, sports health products, nutrition, sports nutrition, the same partners who do the Tour de France. We've also got Coke and water, and then you head into town. So you've got two stations there and there. Right, onto the run. So interestingly enough, there were a couple of people who did do Race2Hermanus on the 13th of May when it was supposed to happen a month and a half ago. And when they phoned me to say they were just doing it on their own, just as athletes, just in training, crazy guys. They phone me to say they absolutely love the running route. So I think you're in, even though this route is all about the beautiful bike course, the famous Clarence Drive, the route that everybody wishes they could have for their events, and the Gordons Bay swim is wonderful. Our run course seems like it's a bit of a hidden surprise. People love it. It is undulating. I mean, this undulation you see at the bottom looks a lot more radical. It's very gentle undulation. It's pretty flat, but it is undulating. And the coastal path, this is probably the most beautiful walk, one of the most beautiful walks in South Africa. Certainly every tourist who goes to Hermanus loves the cliff path trails. Going under the yellowwood trees, all these little bays, super beautiful. But watch your feet. There are steps. There are little stones. You could trip up. You want to keep an eye on your feet, but also keep your rhythm and don't run up the little hills. It's quite a good idea to sort of ease off up the little hills, the little tiny climbs, and then push down the other side. Just keep your heart rate even. You've got 2 laps of that. We've now got a drink station. I'll show you in a moment along here, which last year we didn't have. Last year, our run was people were rerouted past the Marine Hotel, so people missed the second hydration station, which was sitting at the finish line. Well, everyone except the first 10 athletes. Now we've got a drink station at the finish, and we've got a drink station here, and we've got the drink station at Ferncliff. So you should be fine for hydration on the run course. That is the course for the ultra. Okay, 2 times 9.4 Ks. Hydration stations, as I mentioned, thanks to CISA, a new one here at Kroll Rock. We've got the one at the finish. So this year, we are not doing what one of the very thoughtful, helpful marshals last year thought was the right thing, sending everyone to go up there the second time. But the reason that people missed the drink station is because they didn't come past the finish, drink station, and back onto lap 2. They just turned straight onto lap 2. So this year, come here, you'll come past us, you'll get the microphone, you'll have me saying, well done, onto lap number 2. We'll see you on the transponder. We'll know you finished 1 lap, and you'll head back for lap number 2. Prescient have got their world famous drink station over here, fuel station. They were amazing last year. People absolutely loved it. The vibe was lekker. It's a beautiful place, clearing in the trees, in the Ferncliff. It's a very beautiful place to stop and chill and enjoy a drink and a snack, and some cheers. And then you back down through the suburban areas onto the cliff path trails. And this year is pretty flat too. Along the back, there's very little sand. The sand is hard packed and flat. A little bit of trail here. The rest is all concrete and tar. Right. Transition for ultra and aquabike. Sorry, could that gent rates, could you please mute your microphone? If you don't mind. Let me mute him. There we go. Okay, so you've come from the bike course, you've come along the beachfront, you've come into transition here. You enter transition on the right-hand side. You run down to your racks will be numbered. Okay, you rack your bike. You grab your, you would have gone past your bags that you'll be hanging on the bag racks. You go to your bike, you take your bike stuff off, you put your running stuff out of the bag and put it on. Any loose stuff like your helmet, if your shoes aren't clipped into your pedals, you put that all in your bag, you close it up and you leave it next to your bike and you start the run course from here. Okay. Sorry, I just realized something. I just said that upside down. It's flipped. Here's the ocean this side. You've come from there, in here, bag rack. I mean, your bags will be here. You grab your bag, you go to your bike, you come out this way onto the run course. The penalty tent is here. You come onto the run course and you, on the right-hand side, you head towards the Old Harbour. Old Harbour's right here and towards the finish area, which is there. Okay, so sorry, I got that upside down. So in from the bike course from Gordons Bay, which is that side, the new harbour's that side as well. You're coming in, turn into the parking area at Gearing's Point, get to your bike based on the number on the end of your rack, hopefully avoid the penalty tent, out onto the run. You've left your bag behind with your bike stuff in it. You've taken it out and you're wearing your run stuff. And anything else you're not wearing, you leave in the bag. Okay. Oops, sorry, shot ahead too far. Oh, I went flying ahead there. Hang on a sec. Right, on to the next slide. There's the finish at the amphitheater for those who weren't there last year. That is the base of the old harbor. Transition is over there, transition 2, which is where you parked your bike. You'll come in here, the run course is around here. This is the finish area. There's the Coke stand that you would have gone past. This is your aqua bike people. You don't finish here. Aqua bike, your time finishes when you go into transition. When you cross the timing mat, that will decide that your aqua bike is done. So your time at the finish into transition is your finish time for aqua bike. You then have time to put your bike down, put your stuff down. You can walk through barefoot. You don't need to put on shoes. It's about 200, couple hundred meters. You walk along here, come to the finish line, so you have a finish line photo. But you would have already finished in transition, okay? Then you hand in your chip and enjoy your day. The restaurants are all along here. It's a lovely grass area, and that's it. That's it for the aqua bikers. Thank you to EPT, who will be doing massage in the massage area on the grass for you, free of charge at the finish. So enjoy that. Thanks to the EPT guys, Deep Heat and Deep Freeze. Right, that's the ultra spoken about, sprint. Your transition at the new harbor, I know I keep saying this, but the new harbor is not the same as the old harbor that you used to when you go on holiday to Hermanus. The new harbor is just over 2 k's down the coast towards Cape Town. Okay, you just follow the ocean. It's a beautiful walk. There's also cliff paths that side. Not part of our run course, but it's a very beautiful walk. So if you decide to walk with friends and push your bike, that's fine. Otherwise, you can ride your bike down the tar road, or you can get a lift there by car. So it's about 2 k's. So you'll be coming in here in the morning, and you will have racked you'll put your shoes in transition 1 already in Hermanus, in the new harbor, in the old harbor, and you'll come down here. That's where you'll get your chip, and you will put your let me just make sure we're talking about the new harbor. Yeah, you would have dropped your bike, your run stuff in your box. So you do need a box, as opposed to the ultra people. You don't need a box. You need a box, a plastic box, like we use at Blue Lagoon at Cape Town Triathlon. Plastic box, you can have a lid on it, which helps it not get wet. You put it down where your bike's going to be with your run stuff. You then come down here with your bike stuff and your bag and your bike, and you're then going to get your chip here, and you're going to leave your Prescient waterproof bag next to your bike. That's where you're going to put your swimming stuff in there after you've taken your bike stuff out and left with your bike. Your swim stuff will be left behind in the bag, closed for us to bring to transition 2. Okay, this is where you come into transition, and that's how you head down to the water. The water's over there. You go down the walkway, you'll see the route down to the swim start on the slipway. Okay, we've been through this. This is your transition bag. This is your transition 1 transition bag, the Prescient bag. This is for sprint athletes. You'll leave it next to your bike, as it says there. We'll bring it to T2 for you. Remember to drop off your box in T2, which is up at the old harbor. So you go to T2 first, leave your running stuff, then you ride down, walk down, or drive down to T1 with your bike stuff and your swim stuff. You leave your bike stuff next to your bike. You're then wearing a wetsuit. You come down to the swim start, and you start your race. Okay. You guys will get your timing chips at T1 at the transition, okay? As ultra people, you're getting yours in the coffee shop in Gordons Bay. Your swim course is 1 lap of 750 meters. You'll swim, sorry, I've got 2 things here. It's 2 laps of 375, makes for a 750 swim. Sorry, ignore that on the left. You are allowed to swim warm up, as it says there, and I've did say tread carefully on the maps. Okay, the slipway is there. You're going to walk down here. You can warm up around here. You can warm up around here. You'll see the 2 cans denoting the start. Here's the start line. We'll swim this way, which is clockwise. You'll right shoulder, right shoulder, right shoulder, right shoulder. And then the second time you come around, instead of turning there, you'll go straight out to the slipway that you started in. Right, it's all inside the harbor. All of it is protected by the harbor wall. So there's nothing scary in there. The swell doesn't get in there. You're in a protected bay inside the harbor. Your crowds and your friends can watch from along here, or up on the cliffs. Very beautiful place to swim. Hopefully the water's nice. We'll let you know later this week about water temperatures. Okay. And again, like the ultra, your men will start first and then the ladies, and we might decide to split you into under sub vets and vet plus, so under 0 to 39 and 40 plus. Right, the bike course, this is quite important. If you please concentrate. Again, the elevation profile looks steep, pretty flat. That's only 35 meters in total. So you come out of as you come out of the gates of the old harbor, instead of going straight along the shore like you did a year ago, you turn immediately left and onto this road here. You'll see obviously the markings. You'll then take that road up to the main road, which is the road out that the ultra people are riding on, the main road into Hermanus. You go the opposite way to the way the ultra people are coming back. You get to the turnaround point 10 Ks away. Excuse me, come back the same way. You're going to turn, instead of turning right down back to where you started, you're just going to go straight down to the shore, left, and into Gearing's Point. So just to make sure you understand, straight out of the gates of the new harbor, turn left, first right, you're going to go all along to the end. You're then onto the main road, all the way to the turnaround point, 10 Ks away, 10 Ks back. Instead of turning to the old harbor, the new harbor, you're going to go straight on to the old harbor. And there's your transition too. Okay. Just a couple of pointers. When you're going out, obviously the police will be along there. They might be looking out for the ultra people to come this way. So please be very vigilant. Sprint people, there are a couple of traffic lights along here, big intersections. Please concentrate. Front leaders of both races will have a policeman or a think biker. We've employed 7 people on motorbikes to support you. We've got all the marshals I told you. We've got police, but it's still the onus is on the athlete to be conscious of what's around them. Stay alert, stay attentive. If you see a car, be cautious. Life comes first. Losing a few seconds to brake and check is worth everything. So I've mentioned, think bike will be there, police, marshals. You're going out to the turnaround point. When you turn, obviously make sure you don't turn and cross the road in front of the other athletes. Follow the directions of the police and the marshals. When you come back into town, keep an eye out. There could be people coming along the beachfront, walking or on bicycles, etc. Be conscious along the beachfront into transition. Okay, here's your transition. You've come back out of the bike, exactly the same. Along the beachfront, here's the ocean here below us. In this way, sprint athletes, your racks are on the opposite side to the ultras. You'll see it very easily. Your race number will be on there. You would have been in there in the morning and you would have put your bike in your shoes where your bike will go in your box. Your running shoes will be there. Find your running shoe box. There are lots of ways. Put your cap on top of your shoes. Put a sticker on the side of your bike box, of your transition box, whatever you can. But you want to remember, think to yourself, I'm in line with the pole over there. I'm next to a crack in the surface over there. I'm next to that guy with the pink shoes, etc. So that when you come in, you might be a bit disorientated. You've already swum, you've already biked, and you might think, oh goodness, where's my bike? Where's my shoes? Because this time you're not running to a big, colorful bike that's yours. You're running to your shoes in a box. You're then going to put your bike on top of your shoes on the rack, take your shoes out, put your bike stuff into the box, and run out this way. Hopefully no penalty. Out this way towards the finish and the old harbor. Hopefully that made sense. Just remember to look for your race number on the bike rack. So you know it's on the end of the bike racks. There'll be square race numbers which tell you which race numbers rack on which racks. Okay. 5K run. You've now come out of the old harbor, out of the transition. You've come along the edge here. There's our finish area, which is the grass area, the amphitheater. So you would have run along the beach on super beautiful view over the old harbor. You're onto the shore. You run down past the car park. You then go up past the Marine Hotel, which is this big hotel here. You don't go up here, which is the ultra course. So all you fast runners, Vicky van der Merwe and co in the sprint, you don't turn up. You go along the beachfront road, the one that goes towards the golf course, the Shell garage and all that. You follow it straight all the way down all the way as if you're going towards Stanford. Then you're going to turn off and down to the cliff paths. You're going to come back along the cliff paths like the ultra people, come back onto the road a little bit, carry on straight. So this way is an out and back. Then you're going left off the road, down this last little section and onto lap. That's it. Sorry, 1 lap. So that's 5Ks. Okay, so as I mentioned, there's a drink station at Kroll Rock. You've got a drink station there. It's an out and back. So basically, you keep that way. You come down towards the water, keep the water on your left. And there's 2 places where you come back onto the cliff paths. And then you finish there. Okay. There's your finish at the amphitheater, exactly the same as the ultra. The timing truck will be there. Finish time will be there. You can track athletes at the timing points. You all know, go onto the finish time site. Your number should be listed there. Go and check that your number's on there. And so you can give your friends your race number and they can track you on race day. Yeah, that's it. That's our partners. Thank you to Cheervita, who've given you the $500 voucher off a spend of 1,500 Rand or more. Prime Cleaning Services, who are giving us the dustbins, etc. If you litter outside of the dustbins, you will get a big penalty and you can get disqualified. So if you're carrying gels or you're carrying anything, you keep your litter on you until you see a bin which are generally right next to the nutrition hydration stations. You then throw your stuff in the bin. Everything else stays with you. Just a word on nutrition and hydration. Start the bike with full bottles and have drunk a bottle on the way to the start of the race. Jacques, I'll be with you in a moment. So drink a bottle in the morning. Prehydration beats dehydration. So drinking in the morning from when you wake up, have a pee last second, pee in the sea if you want, and your wetsuit keeps you nice and warm. Just drink in the morning and start the bike with full bottles on your bike. Sprint, guys, you shouldn't need more than 1 full bottle. Ultra, 2 full bottles. That will get you a lot of the way through to the first drink station if you need on the ultra. Sprint, you shouldn't need the drink station at all. Over 20 Ks, a full bottle will last you if you prehydrated in the morning. Okay, but obviously anything you want to carry with you in your pockets is there. Once you're onto the run course, you can also grab a Coke at the Coke station going past the start finish. Right, so I'm going to, Jacques, fire away with your question.
All right, thanks, Paul. I just want to find out from you. I've got a few friends also that's cycling, but some are doing the ultra, and me personally, I'm doing the sprint. So I would like to know if I'm allowed to take the T2 bags with me that they received at registration and put it down for them in T2 Saturday morning.
So yeah, on the briefing, you'll see there it gives you 3 points where you can hand in bags, and one of those is in the morning in Hermanus.
Yes, but I am allowed to do it for someone else.
Yeah. As long as as long as you taking ownership of their numbers, everyone takes ownership of their own stuff. If it's not handed in, it won't be hanging up. But yes, Perfect. You can. Yes.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Must be some more questions. I'm sure we didn't cover absolutely everything. Don't be shy, guys. Any question is cool, because this recording is going to go online, and anyone who wants to know something might be thinking the same question that you're thinking now, and they're going to have the benefit of you asking. Susan.
Thanks, Paul. For the sprint bike ride, is the road closed for that section? I can't remember.
So it's not closed. It's very heavily supported. So we've paid a lot of money for a lot of traffic police, and they have had the benefit of last year's experience. Last year wasn't great, to be honest, because we changed the course at the last minute. So the ultra athletes and the sprint athletes were both racing on the morning, and some of the police were kind of still under the impression they would see people coming from the far side, and there were guys in the front of the sprint who said that the cops didn't seem to be looking their way. We had a whole meeting with them the other day. We made sure they were aware of that, and so you've got a lot of police support. We can't close down the road. I mean, it's the main coastal road. It's the main thoroughfare and entrance to Hermanus, the town, and the towns beyond it. but it's a big wide road. It's got a few lanes. It's got a big yellow lane, and we've got police and we've got marshals, and think bike on the motorbikes. So I hope that answers your question.
Yes, it does. I just have one other question about the T1 Prescient bags. So for the sprint, I'm assuming that what I need for the bike ride, I put it in there.
Yes, you can clip your pedals onto your bike, and if you want to tape your gels onto your frame, which a lot of people do, you can do that too. I think if you're doing the sprint, you won't have gels. I doubt it. You don't need them for a 20K bike ride after a 750 meter swim. But whatever you have, whatever attaches to your bike, like shoes in your pedals, like your computer, like a gel if you're putting it on, or if you're putting food into a nutrition box that's attached to your bike. But anything else must go in the bag, because we don't want helmets falling off, sunglasses falling off, race numbers blowing around. Everything that's not physically attached and locked into your bike needs to be in that bag, yes.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Then your running stuff is in your box, which you've already put in transition 2 before you came down to transition 1. Hopefully that made sense. Yeah. So Anna Gelima.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. Are there any cutoffs for the ultra?
No, we haven't given the police cutoffs. We have told the police that we don't expect anybody to still be on the bike after 4 hours. So we haven't got cutoffs. We don't want to institute cutoffs because police can take them very seriously, and the person who's 1 minute behind gets chopped unceremoniously. If we get complaints about riders taking too long, we will sometimes tell the sweepers to encourage the person to not continue because it can be dangerous. But we've got fairly healthy traffic. We've paid for a lot of support for a long time, but no. So to answer your question, you won't get cut like Ironman style or comrade style where the person fires the gun, but we'll be keeping an eye on the back markers to check that anyone who's not managing to average much more than 20 k's an hour is kept out of danger's way.
Cool, thank you.
Sure. Malcolm.
Hey, Paul, just to let you know, there's a few questions in the chat.
Oh, sorry. Okay. I don't actually have the chat open yet. Let me get the chat open because I opened it to full size. Malcolm, hit me with the questions.
The first one was, will it be high or low tide? I think you covered that already.
High tide in the morning, which is great. It doesn't really affect the new harbour, although it does the old harbour, because the higher the water is on the slipway, the less slippery the slipway is. But it's high tide.
Is that for the sprint and the ultra?
Yeah, same ocean.
No, the one was protected, I think, and the other one wasn't.
Yeah. I mean, the tide doesn't really affect the protection side, but look, the harbour wall really makes the new harbour a safe place to swim. The Gordon's Bay swim is a very shallow, rock protected bay, which is why it's probably been South Africa's most famous and long-standing swim venue. It's great. It's not too deep, but I mean, it's not too shallow, so that you have to, obviously at low tide, it can be too shallow, which is why at low tide, we would have started with a wet swim 40 meters offshore, but at high tide, we should be fine. That's why I said I'll make the call on the morning, on the day before probably. But you are protected from anything big and fish-like that wants to, they don't like swimming in shallow water. So you also are great there too. So it's a great bay. It doesn't get too affected, especially on the far left, because you're in a channel against the shore. So yeah, high tide is great. That's one of the reasons why we chose this date.
Next one was water points on the 84-kilometer bike.
Yeah, I did show that slide. There's the first one at Roy Else, Coke and water. Second one at Arabella, NAMID sports nutrition as well.
And next one was, what is the run elevation?
The run elevation is about 130 meters, and that's obviously combined. But that is actually sounds less than it is. It is undulating, and the cliff path trail, unlike the top half, which is a flat, smooth sand road, the cliff path trail is higgledy-piggledy. It's got little stairs. It's got, just for the very tall people, please keep an eye on the yellow woods that hang over the path. just Blake, if you're on the call, just maybe just reminder to stick some red and white chevron tape along on low-hanging trees. But it is ingewikkeld, which is an Afrikaans word I quite like. It can be taxing a little bit more. It would be more taxing than a flowing tar road, but super beautiful. And so your mind won't be on your legs. But yeah, it's pretty flat, but you'll be surprised how tiring it is after 2 laps.
Oh, I think the next question was from Sonia, and I think you covered that at the time the question was asked, and that was the finish line for the aquabike.
Yeah, so your official finish line is the transition. In other words, your time stops and your position is set then, like at World Champs, but you've got time to then stroll through and get a lacquer finisher's picture with your medal on the finish line with the photographer.
Okay. Are the GPX files available for the ultra bike and run routes? Like if anybody wanted to download them onto their watches or something?
Yeah, we have put up the GPS routes. Blake, I think you're on this call. I know we certainly have them, and I think we've shared them in certain places. What I'll do is I will check in with the team because I'm not sure if Blake's on here. I will share them on the group because they do exist, and I'll post that. Blake, if you just let's get those onto the route for the bike course, for the ultra bike course. We've actually got the run route as well. We've got the GPS points because from the recce we do have them. So let me see how the easiest way to post them on the group so that you guys have access to them. Yeah.
So next one you covered already, which was the run elevation for the ultra, so we can skip past that. Is the run box for the sprint included?
No, you have to have your own box. We never supply boxes. I think if you've ever done Blue Lagoon or Cape Town Triathlon, you'll probably have your own box. You want to have your own box anyway. You can get them from any plastic store like Mambo's. You can get them from Pick and Pays and things. You just want an Addis type box, which is roughly, we've had the dimensions before, but 500 by 500 roughly. It's a reasonable size box that you can carry easily enough. The lids do help because if it's raining, but you don't want a flimsy little lid that can blow off in the wind. So some people put the lid underneath if it's a clear day. Other times you can leave the lid on, but it's a plastic box. What really is nice is the console plastic trays, the plastic trays that people put fruit and veggies and things in. Those are really good because they're stable, they're thick, they're solid, they sit flat and lacquer on the ground. And they also have holes at the bottom for any water to drain out of. So those crates are great. But yeah, nothing huge, but no other bags in transition. So plastic boxes / crates for the sprint people in transition 2, and then your Prescient bag in transition 1. The ultra, you have your 2xU bag only next to your bike with your bike stuff in it, and your T2 bag will be waiting for you in transition 2 with your race number on it.
Last question. Please confirm that we can buy timing straps at registration on Friday.
Yes, confirmed.
Yeah, that's it.
Brilliant. Anna Gillema, your hand is still up. Is it meant to be? No. Okay, so guys, that's great. We can't wait to host you. It's taken too long. You guys are all the first people to race the new course along Clarence Drive. We've never done this because it was postponed, and the previous edition was moved to Hermanus at the 11th hour. So we've got lots of photographers en route. We've got videographers en route. You're going to get your own picture for sure because we've one photographer's there just to capture you on the bike and run course. So you will have pictures of yourself as opposed to the old days where we had lots of beautiful pictures, but some people didn't see themselves. So we've got Cape Sports team, John Hishan and his team will be shooting photographs of everybody that they'll have online afterwards. Those are to purchase, but our photographs taken by Dave Sullivan and co and Kevin Sawyer on video, etc. That's all being done by us. Susan, your heart is being very well appreciative. That's very sweet. Thank you. So I think that's pretty much all you need to know for now. We've got the WhatsApp group. You've obviously got the website and your emailer to check if anything's not clear. But if I've left out something important, you can always send me a direct message and I will answer on the group if needed or to you. So thank you. Thanks for supporting us, and have an amazing day on Saturday, and make sure you keep a little bit of energy for a little bit of a rug shop on Saturday night at the brewery. Because yeah, Prescient have really come to the party with us. CISA have. We've put in all the stops. We've put in all the work to produce a magnificent day out. It's winter. It's going to be weird racing in winter, but it also feels lekker because it's not jam-packed with races. We can finish kind of the season for what it is on an exciting high, and then head into a hibernation in July for those who aren't necessarily going on to World Champs in Finland and all the rest. So thank you. Thanks for your time. Appreciate you attending, and good luck. Enjoy your taper.
Thank you, Paul.
Pleasure, Diesel. Enjoy.